situation is with Kanye West. Everybody has seen it. Everybody has heard it. But there's a little twist that kind of got added here in the last few hours. Our boy Kanye decided he was going to go to Skechers. Kanye West
showed up unannounced. Yeah.
To Skechers headquarters in wake of Adidas fallout. Now, and also, oddly enough, I got on an Adidas hoodie. So, hey, shout out Adidas. They made, they did the right thing. So, I mean, like we talked about before the show started, we're not trying to do no deep dive into the politics of this or any of that shit. What it boils down for me is I'm kind of clowning on the fact that he went to Skechers, because to me, there were so many people online on Twitter who talked about how this was going to be some grand plan for Kanye to free himself from his overlords and start his own own thing and make his own money. And no, it's not the case, because the very next day he shows up to Skechers to try and get a shoe deal. I just wanted to go through this article because I thought this was hilarious real quick, because it just shows that, when you fuck around, you find out.
You find out.
And this is the perfect example for people who think that they're, you think you're hot shit, but there's always somebody who's a little bit hotter.
No, the funny thing to me is so Skechers is owned by the Greenbergs. So
yes,
they're Jewish family.
Jewish family,
and they were like, "Get the fuck off of our property."
Yeah, they're like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Well, if it means anything, yay, we would all be booted out too if we tried to promote a shoe uninvited.
Yeah, I couldn't walk in there. You got in the doors at least.
Yeah, to buy shoes. Like, they'd be like, wait a minute, you're here to buy shoes? We'll let you in. Well, but here's the thing. We need a dumpster fire / Lineman Life shoe. No, the thing with Kanye, I'll just go back to it. It's like my son just loves Kanye West and his music, but like he's been pretty quiet about this whole situation, because like he went in a place where nobody can go with him. Like, ain't nobody backing him up on what he said. That's like the one thing. That's the one area that you can't go to, besides, and
look, I
racial.
think, yeah. And I think everybody kind of, and I want this to come out the right way. I think everybody understands why that, and those, the remarks that he made, everybody understands why those get jumped on fast. Because in the last 100 years, we've seen what happens when they don't get jumped on.
Actually, not even 100. Look, thousands.
80 years. Well, in our modern time, we've already seen extreme results when people go that far in their rabbit hole and just become obsessed with this notion that these people are trying to do this to you or do that to you, and it's just because they're a certain ethnic group. That's why they're doing it. Just because they're the ethnic group. And I mean, as a black person, there were some small truths that I think Kanye did put out there into the air that get lost in all of the shit he was saying when it pertains to, black people. And and to an extent, I agreed with him in those small instances where it didn't have anything to do with Jewish folks. It just had to do with our condition.
Right. You got to isolate some comments, sometimes.
Exactly. But even at that, Kanye himself said that slavery was a choice. And that's where a lot of black folks were like,
yeah, they were like,
it was your fault you got captured as a prisoner of war.
You could have jumped off the ships.
Yeah, it was a choice. Yeah, you could have run away. You could have ran to Canada.
And for me, look, I ain't listened to Kanye since 808 Heartbreaks and Watch the Throne. I haven't listened to him because I just kind of, I feel like regardless of how good you are as an artist, unless you are, in my opinion, unless you're Tupac, I'm not going to be listening to you for decades on decades, because eventually your music kind of loses it loses something that made it special. Even like with Eminem, I ain't listening to no new Eminem. For what?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear him sober.
It happens.
You know what I mean? And that happens. And I have nothing You know, I ain't got nothing against lifelong fans. I'm a fan of Eminem. I'm a fan of Kanye in his prime, as far as I'm concerned, which ended right around Watch the Throne. Everything from that point on, I was just like, nice single, but I'm not buying no album. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I understand where the youth, the younger kids who are kind of who latched onto him in that post Watch the Throne era, because that was what, back in 2011, 2010.
Yeah.
You know, now those kids that were first hearing him when those songs came out, they're stuck on him like he can do no wrong. They think he's a fashion genius. Have you seen these shoes?
I mean, well, if Balenciaga is a brand that people know about, then you can just throw shit at a wall when it comes to fashion.
And charge somebody $20,000 for
it.
And you're
if you
good.
say it's good, that's the thing about the fashion industry. Is like if we say it's good, you have to accept that it's good.
Exactly. And I mean, look, I fancy myself a person who has good fashion taste, actually. And there's nothing in my opinion that is groundbreaking about any of his shoe designs. It looks like he's just throwing shit against the wall and then shaping it into a shoe, and then people will pay.
People bought that shit. People bought that shit.
What?
It's about status.
I mean, yeah, it's about standards, and it's about if people are going to buy it, people are going to keep making them. So you know what?
I'm like, this motherfucker.
People are going to buy for the brand.
He made all he did was make some glorified Crocs, and people bought the shit out of these. I'm like, what? These shoes are garbage. They're Crocs.
He's learning about branding. How the brand is a concept. It's not about the product.
He thought he was.
You can get a shoe anywhere. You can actually like I would wear Crocs because they're comfortable as shit. But you know, you get ridiculed for wearing them, and so I don't buy Crocs. But objectively, the shoes are great.
Yep. Quick question though, 5. Do you wear them with socks or without socks?
Oh God, this is
depends on like how funky your feet are. You know, like if you got some nasty feet, like I'm not a great foot guy. You know, so like I would prefer to wear the socks.
Honestly, you're a dork. I hate people who wear socks with sandals.
Yeah, you never wear socks with sandals. That's one of the biggest.
I'm not gonna do that in public, but you got the slides on you. Like if you're gonna change into cleats or something, you know, you're gonna have the slides on with your socks on. I'm not going out in public. You know what's worse than that though is wearing your pajamas in public. I don't need to see that.
Oh, dude, everyone wears pajamas in public now.
I mean, but you just acting like you just not trying.
Acting like it's cool to not try to look good. Well, you look like a bum. So I would.
You know what? You know what? If I didn't care if I cared less what other people think about me, I'd probably wear pajamas in public. Like I'm 90% of the time I'm in pajamas.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, like I sleep in shorts and a t-shirt, and I usually go out in shorts and a t-shirt.
Uche and Tree, you ever have a day? You ever have an entire day where you just don't leave the house?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've had multiple days where I don't leave the crib.
Usually when I'm working on shit like this.
No, I usually force myself to get out to the gym.
Same here.
I'll hit the gym. But I'm talking about like forcing yourself to just walk out the front door so you can get some vitamin D from the sun.
Yeah. I'll tell you something, Tree, too. When you get a HelloFresh sponsorship and you know you don't even have to go out for groceries, you're just like, oh yeah, we're not leaving.
Oh, I'm a lazy piece of shit.
2, 3, yeah. We'll sleep.
And then you realize, oh wait, I actually got one of these today. Shit.
Yeah. You got.
But anyways, you know,
right.
The Kanye thing. Like I said, I really just wanted to kind of point out how, you know, when you fuck around and you think when you think you're the smartest person in the room because you have the most money, well, that can get shut down real quick. This cat went from almost $2 billion net worth to now 400 million.
Net worth don't mean shit.
And it don't mean nothing. That's just because you're a musician in your catalog. And I mean, and the fact that you're with Kim Kardashian, so you have some investments with her. That's the only thing that's keeping you looking like you're fresh. But I mean, that has to hurt. That has to hurt.
Yeah.
I don't care how, because his ego. Look, I watched a couple of his the podcasts. I watched the one with Lex Friedman And who else did I watch? That was the one that I watched in its entirety. And I mean, it was astonishing to me to see how much of a narcissist he is.
Mhm.
He is a narcissist in an extreme form. And his number one priority, his number one, the biggest plate of armor that he wears over his personality is that he must have the highest title. He wants to be accepted into that billionaire boys club, like the real one.
Right.
So,
but you could just be Meek Mill and just hang out with a billionaire.
I mean,
and that's even better because you just learn from them, and and they'll throw you a couple bones here and there.
Yeah, that's like going to all the frat parties without being in the frat. That's
but I mean, at the
exactly.
end of the day, it's yay though. But the comp, like, if you think about it, he's kind of like AB. If you think about it, has to be the center of attention, has to be the greatest. Kind of self-sabotages himself in a lot of ways. Immense talent.
And I mean, I saw this on the internet, and I was like, "Yo, this dude is gonna get himself killed." That's AB. That is AB. Because look at this. Like, dude, you don't do this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Does he have help doing this, or is he doing this all by himself?
Look
That
at
looks
the quality
like he
of this
designed
shit.
it.
Yeah.
looks
I mean,
like-
some of the memes, it seems like he's getting some help with.
I mean, because I said this fool gonna fuck around and find out. That's me right there. Because, dude, what are you doing? This is like a cardinal rule in all things team related. Period. You don't even. This is like, I'm not saying that this is anything that this means they did anything, but dude, what are you saying with this?
And also that the guy who took the picture could technically file a lawsuit, or the person who owns that copyright, because he probably didn't use permission to use that photo on his t-shirt.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, this is too far.
AB stayed in Brady's house, so Giselle would naturally, like, he probably turned on the charm when he was there. So Giselle probably just thinks he's a cool dude, like
a cool dude, right? But look at what he's doing with that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he's taking what's probably an innocent her, congratulating him, giving him a hug, and he's making. I mean, come on, bro. We know what kind of guy he is.
Yeah,
we've seen the video.